Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here. Welcome back to the Jules and Matt Anime Hour. I am one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and we talk about anime, things that we watched throughout the week. And this week we are going to continue our watch through of Black Clover. We are on episode 9 through 12. So if you haven't seen 9 through 12, don't even worry about it. Or if you want to go watch it, come on back. But we'll give you a breakdown and we'll talk about our thoughts about the episodes. And we have in the past episode, since this is episode 3, we talked about all the episodes before it. So if this is the first time that you're watching us, go back, check out the other episodes, come back. But for today, we are live on Twitch, twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman, twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman. And you can watch us on Thursdays. And we are live on the channel on Thursdays here at 11. And you can join in the conversation if you watch throughout the week the episodes that we tell you to watch. Come in, chat with us. Hello, Drew. We got a lot of yes right there. Ready for anime hour. But I am not alone watching Black Clover. I'm here with y'all every week, but we're also going to discuss with my co-host Matt Galley. Matt, it's episode 3. We're doing it.
Episode 3, another one to put in the books.
We're doing it. I am excited to chat some Black Clover with you, but if you want to because we're almost done. Can you believe
Yeah,
we're almost done? We have like
we're over where we've passed the 50% point. We're closer to being finished than we are to being started with this one.
yeah.
We're very
So
close to new anime.
yeah, we're gonna pick a new anime, and if you want to get another anime added to our bucket, we're gonna be talking about it in like 2 episodes. But we're watching Black Clover up until episode 19, which is the end of the dungeon arc. So that's the second arc. We're gonna finish the second arc, and then we'll be done. And then we're gonna go on to another anime, do that for a while, go to another anime. That's what we're doing. We're gonna watch anime together. So stick here. But if you want to add your anime to the bucket, 500 bits live on Thursdays on the Twitch. 500 bits that goes to me and Matt, and then you can send us a suggestion if you have a suggestion for an anime that you want to watch with us. And that's how you do that. Let's talk Black Clover because I got something first off that I want to talk
Mm,
about Black Clover. Before we get into each episode that we watched,
what's on your mind?
why why are the episodes so short? Why is there Can we talk about the episode length? I notice it now because I'm like, okay, I'm ready for something to happen. We got a podcast about it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. 3 minutes of catching up every
Yeah.
single episode. What's that about, Matt?
I I think that it's the battle shonen curse that they want to make sure that when an episode's happening, like they restate all of like the stakes and kind of
Everything.
the progression. They try to abridge it right at the front of that episode. That way, if somebody's walking in without having watched the previous episode, they get a little refresher right beforehand. But the problem with that nowadays, when we go back to watch anime on streaming services, is that we likely watch it like them one after the other.
I
They're served right there in front of you. So when they're serving that recap, all you're thinking about is the fact that you just watched it.
yeah.
Um, and it's also kind of a way for animation studios to kind of cut costs and stuff because they're reusing footage that's already there.
Yeah, I guess so. But like Drew said, I do wish it was edited out for Crunchyroll. Like they should
I
do
agree.
they should do what Netflix does. I love what Netflix does where they're like,
Skip
"Hey,
recap button.
skip recap, whatever." But like I always go to the Crunchyroll comments. There's always this one guy that's like 324. And I'm like, all right, 320. There's always that one
That's
comment that's
hilarious.
like top voted. And it's like, hell yeah, let's go. But there's 3 minutes of intro and then like minutes of credits at the end. And I'm like,
Mhm,
especially right now while I'm watching Black Clover, it just feels like the episodes are so short.
mhm.
And like it hits the midpoint credit. And I'm like, we're already
What
there. Like
yep, it's already happening.
so that's why it feels like these, especially for these 4 episodes, that like not a lot happened. That's the way I feel, or it happened all really quickly.
Yes.
But let's get into episode 9, Beasts. was the one that we started off this week with. So, Matt will give us a little brief synopsis. What happened in episode 9? Because episode 9 and 10 were pretty crazy.
Yeah, episode 9 picks up with Asta, Noel, and Magna. They do the thing for the Black Bulls that the mayor of the town asked, go hunt some boars. They were going to turn in the boars and say hi to the mayor. They find the town shrouded in a mist. Um, and Asta makes a comment like, "Dang, the weather must suck in that town." And Magna and Noel are like, "Well, it's obviously a magic mist."
Yeah.
They make their way through the mist using Asta's sword and find that the town has been taken hostage by some ice mages.
Yeah.
Uh,
That, I mean, we get about a lot here. And these were pretty meaty episodes. Especially for like lore wise. Um the main deal that I really enjoyed was some more Magna backstory. We get a lot of Magna backstory about who the leader of Saucy Village. It's so wild that that's the name of the village. This
Fossey
leader of
Village.
Saucy Village is the one that instilled all the real man teachings in him and encouraged him to try out the Magic Knights. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is great. Like, I love this
Dynamic.
backstory for
Mhm.
Magna. I'm loving Magna as a character even more. Um, and in this episode, whenever they discover the village, he's dead. He dies. I was not expecting that. That was like, uh, pierced to the heart. I don't
Mhm.
know.
It's a real bummer that they find him like that, and he goes, I'm pretty sure they state, the he went down protecting us.
Yeah.
The Asta and Magna begin to battle with these ice mages in order to protect the townspeople. And Noelle is kind of having a bit of a moment where she's like, "Well, they're fighting so hard, like to do everything, and I literally can't even step in to do anything. Should I just leave? I'm getting in their way." And it's not even like I'm scared. She's just like, I have so much magic, but I'm gonna get in their way, so she relents in doing anything. And a small child like calls out to her like, "Excuse me, Miss Magic Knight Lady, like you're gonna save us, right?" With like tears rolling down her face. And that gives Noelle a moment of pause, and she's like, "No, like I'm a royal, like I'm here to protect these people." And her grimoire like opens up in front of her, and a bunch of inscriptions are written, and she gets a new spell, and stating that she'll protect everybody. She's royalty, and she's a member of the black a member of the Black Bulls. Um,
Yeah.
a dome rises up and protects all the villagers, and these ice mages had like spikes falling from the sky and everything, and they just get negated by the dome.
So, like I said, we got some more information. I'm really happy with the information that we got about how magic works, because up till now I don't know how this works. I don't know how. I The only tidbits I heard was Magna used up a lot of his power in him, his magic in him. So
Hmm.
that means there's like a level to this stuff, like how much you can use in a day,
Hmm.
whatever. So I don't know a whole lot about this magic system yet. But then they kind of explain that the magic grows um depending on like you, like Noelle unlocked a new spell because she felt empathy with this little girl, and she needed to protect him, and then that made her character grow, and that made her get a new spell in the grimoire. How does this work? How does this work? I don't know.
That's and I was gonna ask you about that, because this is something that like I go back and forth between. It's that concept of like because I mean like there it's magic. It's stated the power system in the show is magic. So it's like we've seen in shows like Full Metal Alchemist. That kind of uses a magic system too, but it's just not called magic, it's called alchemy. But it's like it's very, very stated, like in order to do something, you have to give something, like something for
Hmm.
something in Full Metal Alchemist.
That
But
makes
Black
sense.
Clover never really, it never like at least initially, it doesn't really flesh everything out, so to speak, and
Yeah.
you're left with all of these kind of like these little hints as to what things could be. Because like Noelle just said, she's like, I have the most magic power here because I'm a royal,
Yeah.
but I can't do anything because I can't control my magic.
So that implies that there's people that are born initially, like you're born with it, like it's in your genes. Like there's a bloodline somewhere because she's part of royalty that has more initial magic than other people. And I'm like, okay, we're learning a lot, especially like in this little time, and we're battling. And I'm like, so
Yeah.
I really like the beginning parts, where she's kind of like debating like, "What am I doing?" Like, she's still like that. She was still like, "What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing here." And then like she's faced with the reality of what you're supposed to do as a good person, as a magic knight as she is. And she's like, "Oh, I need to help them." Oh, and then it's like it clicks even though she's not capable. And I think that's something that a lot of like main characters in anime and shows like have in common, and it's common theme where it's like, I don't know if I have the capability to do it, but I'm gonna try my hardest and I don't
Mhm.
care what happens to me. So she kind of hits that main character point, gets a new spell, protects them. I'm getting like healer vibes from her now. I'm getting like a lot of healer vibes.
Yeah, well, especially with the fact that this spell that she's casting is like kind of like a dome of protection again. And it's in a way like the perfect spell to cast for somebody that wouldn't be able to like in my like uh little
Headcanon.
head canon, yeah, it works out that like somebody that can't control their magic very well probably should be sticking towards like more defensive utility magic rather than trying to cast big explosions.
Hmm.
So something like a dome to protect people while her allies are looking to press the offensive would probably be something that would work out for her given the fact that she can't control it very well.
So given the whole magic thought and all the magic stuff that we learn, so does that mean like I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not looking for answers really, but does since Asta doesn't use magic, does he like have some his grimoire and his sword are like for me in my head essentially anti-magic. That's how I'm thinking about it. Um or non-existent magic. And like so does that mean he can continue and others can't? Like it depends on his body, right? Like it just depends on how physically strong he is and how dexterous and all that stuff. So like he's not pulling from that pool because he doesn't have it, but he's pulling from his like physical.
Asta's magic is never giving up. He said it
Okay.
in
Okay.
episode
Yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. I'm having a one-way conversation because I don't want to know
No,
the
yeah,
answers, but I'm
yeah.
like, what are your thoughts? But I'm like,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you already know.
yeah.
Um,
At least in this case.
for sure, for sure. The main takeaway as well was that fucking saucy village leader guy's dead, and I was like, what
Yeah.
the heck already? Like we get a whole backstory about him, and I loved it. I love the father figure that Magna has, and I'm loving him. And then it's like in the same episode, he's like, oh, he's there on the floor, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the real magic is the friends we made along the way.
That's
Thanks,
very true.
Kaylee.
Truer words never been said.
Shout out to everybody watching live. We are live twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman on Thursdays and everywhere else on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and all that stuff on Friday, the day after. So if you want to talk live, come by on Thursdays. But Matt, hit us up with the explanation of episode 10, Those Who Protect. We go
Yes.
on and there's some fighting going on.
Yes. So the battle like rages forward into the next episode. In we see Asta charge directly out because he's like, "Oh, the villagers are protected. Time to attack." So Asta tries to attack, and he's hit with a pretty hard counter by the Ice Mage, and the mage Magna is like in the dome. He's low on power as well. He's running out of magic, and this ice mage keeps like pounding Asta.
Yeah.
He keeps hitting him with attack after attack as Asta refuses to give up. Um, the mage begins to attempt to like break into the dome, and Magna looking down again at the mayor. Um, he's like, well, I like, Asta's out there fighting, Noel's protecting these people. What would the mayor do in this moment? So he goes out there outside of the dome and he draws every last bit of his strength and puts forward his what he calls his ultimate attack. He throws out this like scatter shot that breaks up, and the all the ice mages, they're kind of standing a little bit clustered and they block the attack. Parts of the scatter shot go past them, and Asta deflects it as he was out in their blind spot. He deflects the remaining bits of the attack back at the mages, and they are not able um, to defend it in time. So they're defeated. They defeat the ice mages, and they kind of like lock them up and such, and are getting ready to take them back to Magic Knight's HQ. And they basically activate this fail safe with some sort of a magic item, and they sh- cast a spell on themselves that leaves all of their bodies just as an icy mist.
Yep. And they're gone, never to be seen again.
After
Oh,
that, like they kind of
oh yeah.
they reflect on the mayor, on what it means to be strong, on what it means to protect people, with a couple of kids from the town. And this little magic bird flies off of Asta, anti-magic bird, and picks up this little stone in a house and finds s- this little stone that it seems really fond of. Cut and break away to this huge like pillar full of these similar looking magic stones, with a hooded mysterious figure stating that if the black bulls have the magic stone, it's fine, we'll deal with them in time, and that their master will be reincarnated soon.
I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know what's going on with all that at the end. Love it. But Drew says my only complaint so far with Asta's vibe is their very recycled Naruto personality and storyline. Like never give up. I'm gonna be a wizard king. Different underdog, underrated by colleagues. Bro, I just
I
want
mean,
to okay.
I
For
think that Asta gets like immediate credibility for the fact that when he's in the presence of others, they not like everybody says like, I sense no magic coming from you. So that means no matter where he's going, people can tell this kid doesn't have any magic, because everybody can apparently sense magic,
fucking
magical
nerd.
levels and stuff.
Yeah.
So when this kid walks in the room, even though he's like kind of discredited, like he's acknowledged for having no magic. Whereas with Naruto, Naruto's got the fucking foxtail demon inside of him, which gives
Spoilers. I'm just kidding. It's in
which
episode one.
he has that foxtail chakra. So even though
Yeah.
it's like it is similar, like there's a lot of comparison, there's also a lot of contrast.
I want to play a character like Asta. I fucking hate him, but I want to be a wizard king guy. You know what I mean? I want to be that guy. um okay, first off, when Asta reflects the spell, bruh, I fucking lost it, dude. Um he
The
did the
first time I
fucking
watched the show, when Magnus said it's time for initiation, I didn't even catch that. But this time rewatching it through, when he's like, "Oh, it's time for initiation," I was like, "Oh, it is kind of like they sync up in that moment. They're
bro.
synced up," and I didn't
I
get that the first
did
time.
not expect that. I was like, "You fuck Magna, you silly bitch. You thought you could. You really thought you could." I was like, "Whatever." And then Asta's like, "Huh?" Behind him, and I was like, "Oh, I lost my shit, bro." That was so cool. Some of this, like up until now, some of it, I like the story. I like all the stuff going on, right? But I want more action. right?
Mhm,
Up until now, I was like, "Where's the give me
mhm.
some fighting and stuff," but this delivered, and I was hyped. I was hyped for it when it finally did happen. So I'm happy that I enjoyed it. Everything from Noel's stuff, from Magna gaining his power from seeing his mentor on the ground, and then just sealing the deal with Asta killing it. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. So I was pleasantly surprised.
And I just love the fact of, Asta just, like, he's synced up with everybody. Like, the second that dome of protection goes up, he dashes out of the dome. Oh, yeah, and the bit
Forgot about
where,
that.
Magna, as he, is out of energy, he expends the last of his magic, he kind of goes down on the ground, all of the ice spikes begin to fall, and Noelle is able to, like, control a small little dome to go up
Hmm.
around him, and I love that moment for her because, like, she's like, you better thank me later. But then it cuts to inside of her head, and she's like, I controlled my
I did
magic.
it.
Yes, like she's
Yeah.
so excited about it, and
Uh-huh.
it's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the action. I love Asta when he's not talking. How about that? I like Asta when he's not trying to be the Wizard King. But I love his character. He's like doing it, and I love it. Um, I love that how nobody knows how to handle him. Because everyone's like, wait, he doesn't have any magic, and it seems like the way that it's setting up for somebody. Again, hi, hello, I'm Jules. I have not seen it past the episodes we're supposed to watch. Um, it seems like this is hugely rare. Like everybody that they've met, it's like, whoa, he doesn't have magic. That's crazy. Because they kind of said it. They said it in the beginning, but I'm like, how crazy is it that he doesn't have magic? But everybody's like, he does. I don't have any. I don't see any magic on this guy.
Mhm.
And it's like, wait, he has a Grimoire with a sword that kills our magic. So that tells me that there are like no other things that counter magic other than magic in the world so far. So I like that character, that indirect storytelling by
and
the way everybody interacts with Asta.
And we even get a bit of that with, we even get a bit of that with, Magna as he's sizing up the situation inside of the dome because he notes that, okay, they got 4 other guys over there, they're at least Magic Knight level, one of them's hiding their ability. As far as magical attributes go, it's fire against ice, so I have the upper hand, but they have way more magical power to just change that and turn that around. So
So
we
that
get this whole sense of, okay, like magical properties, interactions, like all of this stuff is at play. But then Asta's just like, nope, sword.
it's kind of like rock paper scissors, but you punch the other guy in the face instead.
that's
You're
that's
like,
basically what Asta is
yeah,
doing.
that's what the but the fire should beat the ice, but this is more. And then Asta's just like, nope, big sword. So I like that we're learning a lot about magic because I did at around this time, I did have a lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions
They kind
about
of
magic
they drop you those little hints and pieces to just showcase the fact that there are questions to be answered. There are
for sure.
answers that they want to provide.
I didn't pull any pictures, but I love Asta's anti-bird. I love the little bird. It's
The
so cute.
little bird is amazing.
It's the
Little
cutest.
flying around with those little spiteful eyes.
He's so cute. What did she yeah, what did she say? Look at his little spiteful eyes.
Yep.
He's the cutest thing ever. Another thing I have for this episode at the towards the end, they do like a pep talk. The Black Bulls do like a little pep talk to the kids about dreaming big and accomplishing something, and like it doesn't matter where you came from. Like I love that aspect of them as being the not so much the muscle, but like people that the rest of the world needs to look up to. I
Yes.
love them being role models, and like I just
Yes.
put like I love them.
Even though
Um,
they're the Black Bulls
yeah,
in that
even though they're
moment.
the Black Bulls, where some people are like, oh, they kind of they're the worst ones, but like to these kids that they're talking to, they're like, it's okay, you can do anything, and it doesn't matter. I came from nowhere. I did whatever, and like we'll be when he said we'll be waiting for you whenever you try to join the Magic Knights. I was like, yes, thank you. Like I love them mentoring these little kids. It's so cool.
especially through the the events preceding. It's definitely important for sure. And it's I love how they're just like, "Oh yeah, that magic stone was grandpa's, but the bird seems to like it, so you can have it."
Yeah. Look at those hateful eyes. He's so adorable. And then we get into something completely different.
Yeah.
Episode 11, what happened on a certain day in the castle town. We do like a little shopping episode. So what happens here in episode 11?
Episode 11, they come back, they recap Yami on what happened, and he's I I like this moment too, as far as the mentoring stuff between everybody and all of that jazz. But we can get into that later. So Yami get states that, hey, your actions got us a gold star, which is basically the we've been recognized. And also, hey, it's payday, so he gives everybody their pay. We go and see the fact that so everybody goes to the castle town to do a little shopping. Last time we were here was for the Magic Knights exam, but now we're here with the Black Bulls, so we get a little bit of what everybody's up to. Charmy's buying food, Finral is off flirting with girls, etc. The Vanessa is kind of showing Asta and Noelle around, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what to buy." And Vanessa's like, "Well, we're not looking at the cool stuff." And they walk down like an alley and walk through a wall, and she shows them what she explains is the black market. Um, they walk around the black market, and a little bit more. We see a little bit more of some of the bulls where they're doing stuff around the market as well. And cut to um, Seke coming back into the picture for a brief moment, and then this old lady walking through the black market has this huge bag of change that she's walking home with, and somebody comes and steals her bag of coins.
Who did it first? Oh, Drew beat me to it. Who did it first? Who did this first? Did Black Clover do it first, or did Harry Potter do it first?
That's definitely a Harry
Because
Potter reference in a way,
okay,
for sure.
because she's the one that has the big hat. I don't have a picture of her, but she's the one that has the big old hat, and then she walks through the wall in the corner alleyway of the market area. Okay, come on now.
Yep. All we're missing is a train station that has a certain platform cut into a fraction.
Come on, let's go to platform 10 and 3/8 or something. Like,
Yes.
she walks through the wall, I'm like, "Okay, Harry Potter." Um, it was I was like, "Okay, whatever, cool,
Yeah. Yeah.
magic
Magic
stuff."
stuff.
So
But
that's one
yeah,
thing.
kind of it's kind of a bridge episode. It not a lot necessarily happens, but we do get a lot of world building from all of the stuff that gets explained throughout the episode.
A note here I had, I think this is the first time that we saw Charmy's face. Like, I've only seen her as, like she has, like, really scrunchy
Her
face, and then she's,
chibi
like,
form.
eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always, like, chibi eating, and this was the first time I was like, "Who's that?" And
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
like
charming.
and she was, like, challenging the local guy to, like
That's serious charmy. That was her in a challenge moment.
okay. I was like, "Oh, who's that? She's pretty." And then I was like, "Oh, it's Charmy." And then she goes back to eating, and I'm like, "Okay, that's funny." I
And
was
nom
like,
nom 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 nom. Nom
yeah,
nom 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 nom.
but I do love I'm loving the Black Bulls more and more. I love that we see everybody doing different things. I
Yes.
love that we see everybody like play to who we know, but just adding a little bit more, and that's
Yeah.
helping me feel.
Here are the Black Bulls at the base. Here are the Black Bulls in Castletown. Like, what are these characters going to do when they're in these environments? And it's just a little bit like, it doesn't like, oh, we have to watch like the whole episode. It's just like, oh, here's literally 30 seconds of a cutaway of each of the Black Bulls.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that, because like I said, I had been wanting some more action stuff from this, because with magic and all this crazy stuff, but, like, I am enjoying what they're stringing me along with is I wanna see more of them just living life. Like,
Mhm.
if this was a slice of life of just the Black Bulls, just vibing, just doing nothing, I'll be like, "Okay, cool, I'm down because like, I love all the characters, like, they're super unique.
And like we saw with this whole the first mission that they had to go on and stuff, it really gave, so now that they're on a mission and these characters are like kind of more isolated, it kind of took a little bit of more of a spotlight moments for each of them, especially with Magna throughout these episodes. And as the series moves forward, we get to, like you said, excited to see more of them. You'll get to know them more too.
Yeah. Seke Bronzaza. This motherfucker comes back, and they
He's
see him in the
been
town,
through some days.
Castle Town, and we now have some more information about him. He's in the Praying Mantis Magic Knight Squad,
He's a
but
freaking
he's
bug.
yeah, yeah, he was the one that said, "Oh, I don't wanna be a bug," and he says it again, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy." But he's still jealous of Asta because he's hanging out with girls, Noelle and what's her name? What's the one the
Vanessa.
Vanessa. He's hanging around with Noelle and Vanessa, and he's like, "Oh my god, you're with girls and you're in a squad, you're in the Black Bulls. They kind of suck, but like you're still cooler than me and all this, and you're the one that made me." He pins it on Asta that he's a part of the praying mantis because of him, and he has this like resentment to him. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this fucking guy, he's
Yeah.
back."
And he also is like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, we just got a magic star from the Wizard King. Like, we're just, that's what we've been up to." And he's like,
Wha-
"Wait, they're not lying." Like he thinks they're lying for a second. "Oh,
Yeah,
they're not lying." It's like, "Oh, well, I just got my second magic star actually." And he's like,
yeah.
the one-upmanship is so thick on this guy.
Sure. We didn't mention how many magic stars people have. The
Yeah.
Golden Dawn, how many magic stars does the Golden Dawn have?
So the Golden Dawn, they had somewhere in the 70s, I'm pretty sure, maybe the
Like 70
50s,
something.
77, 70 something,
Oh,
yes.
it was 70 something. Yeah, because the Black Bulls with Asta's
They
gold
put
star.
they put their little star up, and it goes up towards their starboard, and it goes over this little, what looks like, it looks like a smudged out star, and it goes up to that, and the smudge disappears, and you pan back, and it's full of smudged stars, this board, and Yami's like, "That brings us to -45." Like,
Yeah.
"We're in the negative?"
How do you get negative stars? And will this be on the test? Um, I like that. I dig it. How there's like some competition between the Magic Knight squads. It's really funny that they're in the negative.
And then he's like, "Now we're only 100 away from
Yeah,
the
we're only
Golden Dawn."
we're like at an even 100 away from the Golden Dawn. It's like, what the heck?
And Asta's like, of course, just another thing can beat me at."
Yeah. And up until now, I was like, where's We haven't seen anything about him, haven't heard about him. Where's he been? But like you said at the end of episode 11, we see this older woman. She just beat one of the Black Bulls and took all their money, right? Was that the same
I
person?
think it was Magna, because we see
Yeah,
Magna, like, going into a gambling den right after Vanessa's like, "Oh, you guys are too young to go in there. You don't wanna go in there yet." And then, "Oh, I can't wait to make my money back tenfold." Here comes
yeah,
Magna, and they're just like, "Oh, we know that guy."
yeah. And this older lady walks out with all her coin, and then somebody steals her coin. And yeah, I thought this. I mean, this was gonna be like a. I was like, okay, kind of little mini arc just to show off what's coming up, but
Mhm.
it turns out to be something else. So, what happens in episode 12, the
Yes.
last episode we watched?
So in episode 12, it returns us right back to the lady having her money stolen. Asta starts to just chase after the thief, who's riding on some like magical clouds. He's like zooms away. So Asta takes off
Zooming.
after them, and then Seke also follows using a spell of his own. and basically the Asta is able to use his sword to kill the clouds the thief is getting away from, and Seke and Asta bring the thief in. Um, we get a little bit of a reveal from the old lady as her money is being returned, and Asta, Vanessa, and Noel go on their way. The old lady's like, negation, magical negation. I've never seen that before. And this like form begins to break and just r- revealed Julius Novachrono, the Wizard King, was the old lady in disguise.
Oh no,
Um
he's hot.
so the Wizard King was actually the old lady, and this seems to be a setup of some sort, that he's just kind of he mentions that Yami has some interesting kids this year. So this was definitely a setup of sorts for him to get to see what Asta is capable of, or Noel.
Mhm.
Um, he then notices flying in the sky, and he's like, "Oh, look, and that's the kid that Vengeance picked up from the Golden Dawn." And is on this like little escort mission that's being held, and while he's on this mission, so these black clouds that roll in on the escort, and he takes care of the people that were hiding in the clouds with a lot of ease. It actually looks like he's in a bit of trouble, like for one moment, and then with one flourish, he just like wipes the floor with everybody. It's awesome. The person they're escorting was actually the person that he challenged during the Magical Knights exam, and this dude starts pressing over Yuno's like a point of origin, where they're from and stuff, and eventually they make their way to Hage Village away from their mission because the person they're escorting insisted. Hapsis, or whatever his name is.
I think his first name's Salim. That's what I
Salim
got.
Bey
Salim
Hapsis.
something.
Yeah. Some noble. And yeah, so they end up in Hage Village again. Greets everybody. Everybody makes introductions, and Hapsis, William, whatever, insists that they stay for dinner. So everybody makes their way into the church, just as some black clouds roll in on the village
The Wizard King was the old lady the whole
the whole
time.
time.
So that's interesting that the Wizard King sees Asta and is kind of impressed by Asta. Um,
And to go on top of what you were saying with how rare Asta's magic, Asta's grimoire is, even the Wizard King himself, he's like, I have never seen anything like that before.
yeah,
He's like just flat out
Julius Novachrono, the 28th
Julius
Wizard King.
Novachrono.
It's pretty cool. Cool name. He's cool. He seems cool. I don't know what that little thing's on his above his eyebrow, but I
Mhm.
did catch my eye. Um
His whole getup's awesome.
yeah, that's the Wizard King, all right. Um man, why is he just such a cool guy the way he stands on his broom?
Yeah,
Like, I love the way he does it. He just
it's
stands there.
casual.
Yeah, super cash, just vibing in the air. And what's the girl's name is Margarita, right? I remember that name because I was like, "What the heck?"
Mimosa.
Mimosa. Wrong
Close.
drink. Dang it, I even got that wrong.
Switch the
Okay. I was
champagne
about
for
to
some tequila, but it's all good.
easily mixed up. But I was like, man, I remember her name, but nope, not didn't even get it right. It was Mimosa. There it is, Margarita. Um, but yeah, he just stands on his broom, looking like a cool guy. And I'm curious about his. So people, so far we've seen elements, right? We've seen ice, we've seen fire. We already knew um that had like wind
Mhm.
powers. That's what
And
we knew.
Noel's been doing some water.
That's what I knew, right? And then the way falls off his broom and then shoots out a bird.
Yes.
Is that a real bird? Was that a magic bird? Like,
It was definitely a little like bird made of wind that he like
okay,
if I'm remembering correctly the
he's
sequence,
like
like
falling.
as he's falling, the wind starts to kind of like like form in his
Oh,
hand,
okay.
and then he shoots the bird out
It
from his
looks
hand.
kinda real, and then it just, like, straight up into the air. That was
Yes.
cool, and
Yes, and
gets
it
all the guys.
shoots through them all with a sick lineup.
Yeah,
Like and then
headshots.
he's falling, he's in complete free fall, and he uses his, wind magic to pull his broom all the way down, straighten it out under him, and he, like, just lands, feet first on his broom and gets right back up to the escort.
Fucking cool guy.
Yeah,
Um, Salim, I think that's the name. I don't know. That's one of the names,
it is.
but way too interested in
Yeah,
I'm like, is pretty sussy. He's like, oh, so tell me everything about you. How about where you were born? Then he wants to go see where grew up and like all this stuff. I don't. And what we didn't mention is that he specifically picked to escort him
mhm.
as one of the escorts. So something sussy there, and
As
I don't know what it is.
bodyguards, and then Klaus, the, like, the senior in the squad, he's like, "And if we were doing an escort, like, that would mean that people are, like, gonna attack, and, like, if people are attacking, shouldn't we have more, like, bodyguards?"
Uh,
Because, I mean, it hasn't really showcased anything that of, Mimosa's capabilities, but when we see people pull out their grimoire, it kind of gives, a vibe of their magical vibe check, and Mimosa pulls her, grimoire out, we don't see her use it, but it's covered in a bunch of, like, flowers, and, like, it's all green and leafy, so, as they're up there in the sky, what is she capable of potentially? Makes me
true.
wonder, because, like, Klaus is like, "Be on your guard, Mimosa," and she pulls out this floral-looking grimoire, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna make
"What's she gonna do if they get attacked?" Like, well, this is really sussy,
a
like,
big
for
old
sure.
tree.
Yeah.
Um, Drew asks, isn't that because they're obsessed with magic? I think they were obsessed with more so.
Yes.
Um,
He's questioning, like, "Oh, where did you grow up?" Like, like, for someone like you to, like, get your magical, like, four-leaf grimoire, like, people are gonna be interested about you. When you become the Wizard King someday, I'm gonna tell my kids that, like, I fought the
yeah,
Wizard King." Like, he's saying all these things that are
that's
just really weird. They,
Among Us.
yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, well, let's just not only am I interested, I wanna go see it. Let's just go there right now, and we're gonna, check out your village. I'm gonna you probably miss everybody there, right?" And Yuno's only response is like,
S-
"Bro, that's none of your concern."
We got to go to we're supposed to escort you to your castle or whatever,
They're
and
taking him to a different kingdom entirely,
yeah, so
and
he's
they
being
wanna make
super
a stop in,
sus.
like, the Forsaken Realm, which is only for, like, commoners.
That's also what I liked about that. We didn't talk about it, but they give you in these couple episodes, they give you a lot of information about the magic, and then they
Mhm,
give you the layout of the entire like continent, sort of
mhm.
like
The
where
kingdom.
the rich people stay, and then like the other people, and then the forgotten people, and then the
The
forgotten
ro
lands, and all that.
The royal realm, which is where the nobles and the nobility and the royals live, the common realm, which is where the commoners live, and
Mhm.
then the royal or the forsaken realm, which is where I forgot the word they used to describe everybody living in forsaken. I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
They use a word like that's underneath commoners, similar to like serfs or something like that, but I can't
yeah.
remember.
But they give you
They flesh it
in
out.
yeah, in these 4 episodes, we're getting a lot of fleshing out. We get some cool fighting. Peasants, is that the word?
It might have been peasants.
It might have been peasants. Um, I'm so annoyed knowing if I existed in this world, I would be a commoner, probably only capable of moving water side to side. That's what they were saying. Yeah, they were saying like the people that are in the Forgotten Lands, they know magic still, but they can barely use any. They
To
barely
complete
have
daily
any.
tasks.
So that even helps me reinforce the idea of what we learned earlier, where it's like the royal bloodline has more magic in them somehow for some
Innately.
reason.
Yep.
And these certain families, a lot like Harry Potter, not gonna lie, where these certain families are like meant to be magic people, but whatever. But that it's super divided. And I'm like, okay, now we're seeing more of the area, more about magic. So I was pleasantly surprised. And I was happy with these 4 episodes. How do you feel about these episodes uh, as a chunk that we watched?
I mean, as these 4 episodes as a chunk, they're almost, like, split into, like, these 2 little halves because the first 2 that we watched, like, we get a lot of the action playing out, we get to see a lot of that, and we get to see a lot of, kind of, more, like, character building type stuff, and then in the second 2 episodes, we kind of get to see a bit more, like, more world building and a bit more of the overall, like, world, like get answers questioned about that,
Mm-hmm.
answers to questions about that.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start wrapping up, but who was your favorite character now after we finished all these? Who's your favorite character so far? Who you liking?
In in this bit, it's like it's split decision for sure because we really see a lot out of Magna and out of Noelle, but Noelle definitely just if it wasn't for her being able to protect all of those like everybody collectively, Magna and Asta would not have been able to like get the upper hand in the situation because Magna was on his last bit of power, and Asta every attempt that he made was just getting pushed off by magical attacks. So it
Hmm.
really took all of them coming together in order to pull off what they did as a team.
So Noelle,
I would say
she,
no, yeah. Just
she's still
because,
kind
like, in
of
that moment, like, she really was like, "I'm just in the way," and then she kind of completely pulled the 180 and, made them put them in a situation where they would gain the upper hand.
I like the way that she interacted with Vanessa as well. Like when they're at the
Yeah.
market, she's becoming more of a fleshed out character, and
Mhm.
I enjoy it. Where she's like,
Her
where
walls
Vanessa's
are
like,
c her royalty walls are starting to come down.
yeah, we're seeing less of the arrogance for sure. It's still there, but
Yeah.
it's a lot less and a lot less. I'm royalty.
Mhm.
I'm of status. I think my favorite character right now, I guess I'd say Magna. Dude, well, okay. I like Magna. I'm gonna say it for favorite character so far. I love Magna's character. I wish we the guy that teaches him to be a real man, the guy that teaches him everything he knows now, the guy that taught him all the good things, that told him to actually go out for the magic nights. They spend so much time saying like this leader of Saucy Village, the sauciest man in the planet, they were like he didn't get to be part of the Magic Knights, but Magna did, and he was living through Magna. And oh my god, at least he did it. I'm so proud of Magna, and he's dead. And we need more character development for Magna. It was just like, let's laugh, ha 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 ha. He would want us to be happy.
Yeah,
Magna, cry, cry, please. I want you to cry for him. I need you to feel things for this man that brought you up. They
but,
could have done so much more.
like Yami said, like, "Hey, is being sad gonna bring him back?" Like Yami kind of had to teach them a lesson in that moment because as Magic Knights, I mean, in a lot of cases, can't save everybody all the time. So,
Yeah,
but he went down protecting everybody else
but
for
this is the
sure.
guy. This
It's
is
the
essentially
guy,
his dad. And I was kinda mad. I was kinda mad about that because I was like, I wanted Magna to feel everything. I wanted him to break down and all that, but he's like, "That's not what a real man would do," and he went down a real man, and he protected the town, and I'm like, "Yes, that's cool, but we could get a lot more character development from Magna here," and I think it was a missed opportunity. So
fair.
love Magna, but I think the show they could have done a lot more. If Magna was the main character, I'm pretty sure they would have. But whatever. That was a big missed opportunity. What was your favorite moment in these 4 episodes?
Favorite moment in these 4 episodes just the reveal of Nova Chrono because like just this this unassuming old lady that just had her money stolen, and then it's just like, "Oh, that's the Wizard King." And I love that we see,
Uh,
somebody who he refers to as, Marks. Like, Marks comes up on this, like, screen that just appears in front of him, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're the Wizard King, you're supposed to be, like, doing stuff, not
yeah.
pretending to be an old lady." And he's like, sorry. Oh, look, more magic. Bye. Time to go be silly more." And he just pieces out of there. He's
La
like,
la
he's
la.
the
Yeah,
Wizard King, but he's such just he's we see a little bit of him that just looks like this magical like fanatic. He just loves like getting to see all of these different magics and stuff.
for sure. I flipped my shit when Asta reflected the spell behind him. I was like I was not expecting that. I think that's my favorite moment when it was just like Magna missed. And I was like, okay, like I didn't expect him to like go crazy, but for him to be dismissed so easily, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I was like, God
Mhm.
damn it. Like I was kind of,
It
oh
puts
man.
like a 20-second like boot up sequence into that attack. He's like
Yeah.
soul ball, explosive scatter shot, ultimate attack, and
And
he's
I was
like,
like, yeah, and
and
then
he
nothing.
throws it, and all of these things go like flying everywhere. Yeah, and they're just like, boom, whoosh, and
Yeah.
it gives you that like just a moment for you to be like, oh,
They
and
had
then yeah.
They had me in their palm of their hand. They had me right there. I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Behind you." I was like, "Whoa." I literally was like, that scene got me. Some
Yes.
scenes when cool things like that where I don't expect it at all happen, I was like, "Okay, that was good." He
And
just like behind.
that's as the series goes on, that is one of my favorite things about Black Clover that I can remember watching it through the first time is that there's so many moments where you think they're going to go for the shonen trend, whatever it is that you've seen it before, but then they just do that one thing, like they throw that one curveball in there, and it's just like I absolutely loved that.
I also felt that when nobody raised their hand for Asta. That was another moment where I was like, "Oh shit." Like that's they did that. That's how the same feeling that I feel right now where like they did something I wasn't expecting where it was like nobody raised their hand and I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, it's probably obvious, but like at the moment I was like, "Oh, dang, dude, that's" I was like, "Okay, what now?" You know? I was like, "How are they going to play this?" Drew says they do a lot of fun things creatively in this show, and they do things that aren't predictable.
There's that makes me think of one moment later on in the series that we won't be able to
Uh-oh.
get to, like, it's way further down into the series, but it's one moment where it was like it goes against everything that you've ever, like, seen in any, it happens in the midst of, like, a tournament arc. It, like, breaks so many tournament arc rules, but I was like, "And I love they broke all of them," like, "Oh my." But, yeah, that we won't be able to get to that in the
But I
podcast.
I do love Drew needs to know now. Maybe we'll message you after, Drew. I don't know what's happening. I know up until episode 12, so that's all I know. I don't know what Matt's talking about. But probably after Hunter x Hunter, I think I'll because I'm working my way through the Chimera Ant arc. So whenever I'm done with that, I might just switch over to Black Clover because I'm really enjoying it. So like I said, at the top and in every episode we are going to get up to episode 19 of Black Clover and then we're going to stop and we're going to go to another one. We're going to go to a new anime. Episode 19 is the end of arc 2, the dungeon arc. So the next episodes to watch are episodes 13 through 16, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 episodes, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 episodes before next week of Black Clover, and that should end the Magic Knights Academy arc and start up the dungeon arc of Black Clover. So watch those before the next episode so you can join us and join the conversation. But yeah, that's been the Jules and Matt Anime Hour. We're live on Thursdays on twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman. Everywhere else, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Jules the Human as well. That's where you can find the show the next day. But if you want to join the conversation live, and if you want to get a anime recommendation into the bucket for what we watch next, because it's coming up. We got 2 more episodes, and then we're picking a new anime, and I have some of mine. Matt's gonna have a recommendation in there. We already have one from CZ, and if you wanna put your recommendation in there for the rest until we pick it, 500 bits, during the live show. But Matt, where can they find you on the internet?
On the internet, you can find me on socials at it's Matt underscore Galley. And you can also find me on Twitch at Matt underscore Galley, which mix-ups at work recently, but I am definitely looking to getting back on a regular streaming schedule as soon as availability works out for me.
All the links to Matt's things are in the description of the podcast or the YouTube video. Leave us a comment, leave a like, hit give us 5 stars on Spotify and stuff so we come up whenever somebody looks up anime. Give us like 5 star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I've been Jules the Human, Jules the Human on all social media. Jules the Human on Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff at JULES the Human. Watch episode 13 through 16 of Black Clover before next week. Jules here, Matt, the Jules and Matt Anime Hour, and we'll see you next week.